Arsenal are good, aren't they? That's frustrating for us non-Arsenal fans out there in the world. Welcome back to Football Yannick. Sorry, it's been 10 days odd that I haven't uploaded. I do want to upload more on this channel, and boy howdy I will. Though it hurts me to talk in today's video about how good Arsenal Football Club are. But currently at time of recording at the top of the Premier League. And I believe they will remain at the top of the league in the middle of March. Now, that's not what I want as a Chelsea fan, but you gotta step out of your blue-tinted, or I have to step out of my blue-tinted position and think they've just done incredible. They're a great team, and they're a good team for a multitude of reasons. And you could pose the question, make the headline, the Premier League is by far the hardest league in the world. They sit at the top of the Premier League summit. Of course, they've got to play Porto, the return leg. It'll be very interesting, the narrative around Arsenal, should they get eliminated in their first knockout tie in terms of their return to the Champions League. Because then, the narrative will flip reverse big time. But, yeah, look, man, are they the best team in Europe? You can make an argument, well, they're the best team in the Premier League right now. And if they are, then in that case, Europe, their goal difference is immaculate. Their defense is incredible. The biggest problem with Arsenal not too long ago was they can't score goals. That was their issue, isn't it? They can't score goals. So they've absolutely battered people lately. Let's just quickly read out some results. Of course, they did scrape past Brentford, only just, with a Kai Havertz late winner. Yeah, I don't want to say he's proven his worth, because I think they'll spend £68 million on him. You know, in terms of how good the Arsenal side are, did they want to spend best part of £70 million on Kai Havertz? Have they seen a return on that? I'd argue no, but he does score in big moments, Havertz. Of course, we know that as Chelsea fans. Champions League final, late winner against Newcastle, and a few other goals in between. We can talk about the players of Arsenal in a bit of detail in a moment. So yeah, they did just get past Brentford. Brentford just taking a point of Chelsea previously. I don't know if that means anything. Probably not. But in terms of goal-scoring problems, you know, they stuck 6 past Sheffield United in the previous game. They stuck 4 past Newcastle in the previous game. They stuck 5 past Burnley in the previous game. Granted, 11 of these goals have come against the 2 bomb teams, but they stuck 6 past West Ham. They of course beat Liverpool 3-1. They beat Forest, it was only 2-1, but then they also stuck 5 goals past Crystal Palace. They've scored a lot of goals. Arsenal, a lot of goals, and it's really, really impressive. Yeah, like I say, they sit currently on goal difference in the summit of the Premier League, but free scoring Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool have got are 7 behind them in goal difference. It just shows you how good they've been. They've only conceded 24 goals, which is the best of the 3 in the title race of Arsenal, and they've scored the most goals, which is, you know, great. They have lost the most amount of games, they just haven't drawn that many. But so impressive. Arsenal at the top of the Premier League there. And you'd have to say, I say it on my Instagram all the time, at Football Yannick, if you want to follow me on Instagram, much like the app for this channel. It's crazy how good Mikel Arteta has become, because he was for so long, people forget there was a few months where it was like, why haven't they sacked him? This is mental, how haven't they sacked him? Consecutive mid-table finishes, fans turning on him, Arteta out shirts being sold. You know, he was the bookmaker's favourite to be sacked for a while, and he just wasn't being sacked by Arsenal. I know I've said this so many times, it still just blows my mind, so I wanted to reiterate it again. And they stuck with him, and look at where he was now. Of course, last season a great season, this season, you know, an amazing season. Again, it'll be very interesting. If they blow Porto away at home in the Champions League, it'll be normal service resumed, but if they twitch a little bit and show their sort of inexperience in Europe, I wonder how the narrative will flip. But they've just been incredible. Like I said, I won't go into detail with too many players, but, you know, absolute you know, the goalkeeper situation I think's done them no favours, but David Raya probably is good enough. I do feel sorry for Ramsdale and Cole making those blunders. I think that's largely created by the manager and Arteta, who did that weird. I think if Arteta could do everything again, he would just say, look, Raya suits what we want to do, he's our number one. And everyone would be like, harsh, but then they'd forget about it because Arsenal are doing really well. The fact how he's constantly said, they're both number one, it's gone to both of their heads. I think that's been a mistake. Of course, their centre-back partnership in Gabriel and Saliba has been immaculate. It just goes to show us what a good partner can do and long-term continuity can do with a centre-back partnership, because Gabriel they got a while ago and he wasn't great. I swear he was like really poor early doors in his Arsenal career, and the way he's just settled with Saliba has been so impressive. Ben White doesn't get many goal involvements. I swear he's more of a defensive, because he is a centre-back that's playing full-back. But, of course, getting a couple of assists last time out, really growing into the role. Their midfield, for me, is just the one. And again, I don't necessarily mean when Kai Havertz is playing as a number 8, though I think he worked quite hard. But for me, it's the two players. So, of course, Martin Odegaard, who's amazing. He sort of sets the tone. He's the captain. He gets, goals, vital goal involvements, and really keeps their sort of drive from midfield. But Declan Rice is incredible. He's so good. Declan Rice. He can play. He can play and has played really well for long stints at centre-back in the Premier League, at central defensive midfield. He's currently doing amazing work playing as a number 8, with like a Jorginho dropping deeper, and he's playing next to him. And he's just, he's defensively good as a great centre-back. He can protect it back four as an amazing CDM. He can, be part of the attack and, lose runners and shuttle away as an attacking number 8. And he can finish like a striker, apparently. He is the boy. Now, of course, they spent £105 million on Declan Rice, which is a lot of money. And yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. Glass houses. I will make the comparison in just a moment. But of course, they had to pay £100 million up front on one down payment to West Ham, and the £5 million is in add-ons. But they had to pay it all essentially up front. Whereas, Chelsea, of course, bought Enzo Fernandez for about the same £105 million, but they paid £30 million up front. So they structured the deal that, kept him safe long term and amortized his deal in both Europe and the Premier League for, I think, ends up being 9.5 years. Enzo Fernandez. It was an 8.5-year deal, and they extended a year soon after he signed. So, of course, with Declan, they just had to slam dunk straight away on this year's books, 100 million, which is massive. But my word, he's been worth it. As a Chelsea fan, to speak from the Chelsea fan perspective, on both Caicedo and Fernandez, I think Declan's a bit older, isn't he? He's about 3 years older, 3 or 4 years older. I think they're both 22 now, so 3 years older, maybe 3 and a bit. He's mid-20s, Declan, and he's played. So he's a bit older, and he's played in the Premier League for many years, and he's come through English academies in terms of playing in English football, which I don't know if Caicedo came from... No, he didn't come from the Brighton Academy. They brought him in and loaned him out to Belgium. So, it's very, very different comparatively in terms of how settled Declan is, and his age, his experience in the league, and his experience in the country and being developed in that academy. But despite all that, in the caveats, and I'm kind of wanting to make the comparison because it will be the obvious, look at Enzo and... Enzo's won the World Cup and won Best Young Player at the World Cup, so he's fine. That's a trophy that Declan and I will dream of Declan winning as an England fan. But, so, yes, it's there's the talents there in both Caicedo and Enzo. It's just dysfunctional. And also... you drop a Caicedo into that Arsenal team, who, by the way, Arsenal tried to buy Caicedo. He would do a lot better. Similarly, I think Declan Rice, you drop him into the Chelsea team, who we tried to buy. Declan, by the way, Chelsea fan. I think he'd be doing better than Enzo and Caicedo just because of how settled and experienced he is. But he wouldn't be playing as well as he is at Arsenal. There's so much to be said about a calm setup around you, and people know what they're doing. There it just is. But yeah, I wanted to mention Declan Rice because I just think he's genuinely sensational and can do it all. An incredible player. Yeah, Saka's great. I love Saka. Again, with my England hat on, he's my starting right winger for England. Martinelli, I don't think he's ever hit crazy numbers. And I do think probably Arsenal, if they want to be like this dominant team in Europe, they have to buy like a proper striker, I think, which they might try and do. I know they've scored loads of goals of late, and it's good to share the goals around, but I think you want that clutch moment, proper centre forward, like Drogba was for us often against Arsenal. But man, yeah, they need their flowers, Arsenal. They've been so good. I think they've been more impressive than Liverpool and Man City, personally. But I also think they're the most untested psychologically, and there lies their frailty in going the distance at the moment, but they could do it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for liking and subscribing to Football Yannick. I'll be back. See you soon. Peace.